Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Comics on Canes. I guess we could say this finally. Look, we've lost 3 of the last 4 games. But finally, this is a great day for the Miami Hurricanes. Even though I hate for people to lose their jobs. I never call for people's jobs. And I didn't even call for GUIDRY's. I said there needs to be changes. Whatever those changes are, it had to happen. I mean, the defense was the reason we didn't go further. You had the number 1 offense, and even though the defense was top 20 in the country, it just didn't seem like it, man. Every team had their highest point total. Iowa State averaged 6 points the first quarter in 13 games, and against us, they had 21 points. And it's kind of like, oh, what are we doing here? Like, why is this even a discussion? GUIDRY had to go. GUIDRY's gone now, just announced. And I'm glad it didn't take Mario a long time to do this, because Mario likes to sit and think about things for a while, and you lose out on other coordinators, etc. So this is a great move. Forrest Shaw, what's your first take on this?
On GUIDRY?
Yep.
Well, I don't root for people to lose their jobs, but if you're not good at your job, you shouldn't have the job.
Yeah.
Let's say that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not like dancing on his grave, but I'm like, you shouldn't have had the job. This should have happened. I mean, we've talked about all season. Cam Ward is arguably the best quarterback to ever come through UM. Are we going to get another quarterback at that level?
No, never.
Hopefully, I don't know. So honestly, this is like 2 months too late, in my opinion. I feel like we had an opportunity this season to play for a national championship, and you know, maybe we replace them, and we still have problems talent wise, maybe. You know, with some of the our secondary is young and inexperienced, and maybe not good enough, but give it a shot. I mean, once you see it once, you're like, all right. Like we said it on this podcast. All right, we'll see you next week after Virginia Tech. And then they play. I can't remember the order of the games now, because but if it was Louisville,
but every game, it was the same story.
Yeah, it was Cal next. And then,
every single game.
Eventually, you got to be like, you know, like in Remember the Titans. It's like Graham, like, you call offense, I'll call defense. Like, do something, because it just was like, you know, and I even said it before the Syracuse game too. I was like, I don't know. I mean, I called us to win it, but I was just like, I don't think we're stopping this quarterback. And lo and behold, we didn't. And I've followed Iowa State all year. My friend's son is on that team. Jaden Higgins. He did not play. He didn't play in that game. Let me just put that there. He is 4th in the country in yards, receiving yards.
Yeah,
he didn't even play in that game. Like Noel is the other receiver. I happen to have followed Iowa State a lot this year because of that.
Yeah,
Noel was very good too, and he burned us in that game. But they didn't have one half of the receiving duo. It's like
now this is what I want to mention, is that, you know, the question is, will Mario take Hugo Drago? Thank you for the comment, man. And this holds so true. And by the way, if you're jumping in the chat, how we support this show is super chats, your likes, your subscribe. So please subscribe if you haven't yet. That supports the channel. That's like a super chat as well. All right. The question is, will Mario take half a year to hire a new DC? And will he let him bring in his whole staff? Because we all know Mario, I don't think there's ever been a coordinator yet where Mario lets them bring their whole staff. Because if you get a new OC, you got to use Alex Mirabal, who is fantastic at his job. Fantastic. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. But if you hire an OC, you know you're not bringing in your staff. I don't know on defense, is that hold true either. If you get a new DC and he goes, I want to bring my own defensive line coach, I want to bring my own linebacker coach, is that even a possibility in Mario's world? And if it's not, I don't think it's fair to the defensive coordinator. Like, honestly, GUIDRY was absolutely horrible this year, but let's be honest, he didn't have his whole staff either. You know what I mean? I don't know who his whole staff would be, and it could have been much worse with his whole staff. But the only way to give a coach their best shot is to let them bring in their own people. And if they decide that Jason Taylor is the best defensive line coach and they decide the linebacker coach is the best linebacker coach, then you keep him. But you got to give him that opportunity to decide if he wants their staff or not. And if you don't, you're just plugging in another defensive coordinator that hopefully does okay. I mean, that's my first take on it. What do you think, Forrest? And we're going to get to all your comments. We are live. We'll be throwing up your comments and talking about them. Go ahead, Forrest.
But you're talking about the defense. You're saying if he's going to let him bring in all his people.
Yeah.
Or her people. We could have the first female.
Whatever it is.
No, I'm kidding. I don't think that's going to happen right now. Well, I think they're going to. I haven't even seen it yet, but maybe. I don't think. I don't know.
Because I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
No way they're going to get rid of Jason Taylor. But are you really giving a new defensive coordinator? And I love Jason Taylor. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I love Jason. I don't know. Are you really giving? Hold on one second. Are you really giving a defensive coordinator a shot at doing what they do if they can't bring in their full staff?
Yeah, maybe there's some talk. Like maybe there's some people he likes that he wants to keep. Cristobal says, and that's part of the interview process, you know. But I like Jason Taylor too, just because I like Jason Taylor, the player. Yeah. I don't know if he's a good coach. Like it, you know, the defensive line had a lot of good moments this year. It had some times too when I was like, that we were kind of relying on them, like to be the stalwart of the defense and make up for the other errors, you know, to be fair. So, but I think that if he gets some sort of top tier name or somebody big, I think he lets him do whatever he wants. That's part of the deal there, you know. If we can't get somebody like that, then I think there's
but it's the Miami Hurricanes. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to get a top tier guy. You know what I mean? Malik Savage says Derek Nicholson, I think, would be a great defensive coordinator, great motivator. If you listen to his Louisville speeches, he would be good. I'm not going to go by just speeches. He looks like a great motivator, but I don't know. What has he ever been a defensive coordinator? I don't know enough about Derek Nicholson. Do you know anything about him really, Forrest?
I don't know, but I don't think Louisville had a very good defense this year. I don't know anything about Derek Nicholson, so I'm not going to speak to that. But we need somebody that
Miami should have one of the best defensive coordinators, DCs, or if not the best. Like, there's no sense. Like, I see all this talk, and this is how ridiculous some Miami Hurricane fans are. And it's just, they're like, bring in Ed Reed to be the defensive coordinator. Just because he was a great player doesn't mean he's a great coach. And he's never coached before. A defense like this. I mean, come on, man. Stop with the Ed Reed stuff. Look, I respect him. I love him. And he's a Cane through and through. And he's done so much for the school. But stop with Ed Reed being the DC. Some fans are out there. It's so ridiculous, man. It's just so ridiculous.
So here's a list of like the top defensive coordinators. You know, this is SaturdayDownSouth.com. It's a college football site.
Yeah,
so,
give them to me.
Yeah, they have number 1 Phil Parker at Iowa. And now but first of all, I'm just going to name you the names of programs where they would be going to Miami would be an upgrade. You know what I'm saying? Number 1 is Phil Parker is at Iowa. Iowa always has a stout defense. It's
100%.
Yeah. You know, and they're not playing with the same, you know, transfer portal people we are and speed and talent. Number 2 is Glenn Schumann at Georgia. It's going to be hard. And number 3 is LSU for Ohio State. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to be pulling these people away from those programs, probably.
Yeah.
But you go down the list here, and there's this guy who I think is the last guy here, Brian Knorr at Air Force. You know, he's a former head coach at Ohio. He's been in college football for like 30 years, and his 2 seasons as defense coordinator there, they finished 3rd and 12th in points per game in the nation in scoring defense at Air Force. You know,
but what's their competition? Who are they playing? I don't really know Air Force's schedule. Are they playing good schools? Because that's the thing. We took a great defensive coordinator from Marshall and said, "Oh, he's going to be a great top 4." You know what I mean? I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, sorry.
I'm done with getting these small defensive coordinators at small. Get one that's done something with the big boys. Get one that's done something with the big boys.
I hear what you're saying. I'm going to run through their schedule real quick for you. San Diego State, Nevada, Oregon State.
No, get them out of here. I don't want to even hear that name.
Okay, no, but what my point is with somebody at a school like Air Force is I'm not looking at their schedule. I'm looking at what their talent is. And when you're working at a college, the armed forces, this is not we're not like, hey, you want to come play at Air Force, the portal and stuff? This is people that are dedicated to fighting for the country. Like, this is the talent. You know what I'm saying? That's a defensive coordinator that is given a certain talent level and then deals with. I don't care about the schedule there. I'm looking at something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I do. The reason why I do care about the schedule, because if it's a terrible schedule and if you're a decent defensive coordinator or maybe above average, you can look great. You can look great. Like, for me, I'm done with the small time DCs that Miami is their first big job. I'm done with that. We need to get somebody that's proven with playing against big boys with big boy talent. That's what we need.
But you say that, but also on this list is our boy Al Golden, who we had here, and how'd that turn out? So,
but he was a head coach. Like, I would take Manny Diaz in a heartbeat being a defensive coordinator again. So, I mean, a head coach versus DC is it's two different things, my friend.
I understand what you're saying, but you take Manny Diaz in a heartbeat again?
As a defensive coordinator, 100%. He would never take it, but Manny Diaz being a defense, even though he gave up big plays, I mean, a Manny Diaz defense with our offense this year would have been incredible. We would be playing in the bowl game still. What a Manny, 100%, I believe that. 100%.
We'd be better. Yeah, for sure.
Well, all we need, here's the thing for us, all we needed was to be a little better, like 20% better. We would have been undefeated. Just 10% better. We would have been undefeated. Next coach, please, no more stunts. Tell me about it. How many times did we stunt out of plays? Like, it was just like, why are we stunning? Oh my God. I could go on and on. Hold on. We got David Everett. I heard people say it's going to be Ryan Walters for DC. I don't know Ryan Walters. Can you look that up? Do you know who Ryan Walters is?
I'll look him up.
All right. I'll just go through, while you look him up, I'm going to go through some comments. Jason Sanchez, thank you for reaching out. I haven't read your name before, so thank you for being probably a first-time listener. I'm here in Colorado, and Air Force does not play elite competition. Thank you. That's what I was saying. Go ahead. Go ahead, Forrest.
The point I'm making there too, because this is college football still, is it's not always just about what this guy, what program he's at, this and that, what the schedule is like. It's that those players at Air Force are not the players we have.
Dude, I get your point, Forrest. Right now. I get your point, but man, I'm done. I'm
just to your point about Manny Diaz. If we had him on our team, and I already forgot his name, the Air Force coordinator, we would have been undefeated probably. Ryan Walters was fired by Purdue after going 1-11 this season. He's a head coach, but has a strong background as one of the country's best defensive coordinators at Illinois and Missouri. So big time for you. And he in 2022 was named the finalist for the Broyles Award given to the nation's best assistant coach. So he has got a good track record here, and he just got fired. So he's looking for a job. So I think that is a good. I don't know who said that in the comments, but
yeah, Ryan Walters. I think that was Hugo Drago, I think.
Yeah, that's a good pool. I think
that's a great
somebody looking for a job that's got a good resume, because Missouri and Illinois, to what you're saying too, are playing. They're in the big conferences. I'm looking back at some.
Malik Savage says, "Do we know if Shannon Dawson is any good?" And let me tell you, that's 100% accurate. Hang on one second. Can you hear me, Forrest?
I can hear you.
Because my screen is freezing. I don't know why it's freezing, but
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So sorry about the freezing screen, but you can hear me. That's all that matters. Do we know if Shannon Dawson is any good? He's had one good year with Cam Ward, but Emory didn't look great in the bowl game, let's be honest. And Tyler Van Dyke was awful. Reese didn't look good. I mean, these are all serious how good Dawson is. Because remember, what happened was Dawson, basically GUIDRY and Dawson flip-flopped this year, right? Because the first year, Forrest, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Because the first year, wasn't it GUIDRY had the great year and Dawson had the bad year? And then they just flip-flopped this year, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, and again, I agree with what he's saying about Shannon Dawson. Is like, I mean, Emery Williams goes in the game. Didn't look great. I'm like, Cam Ward covers up a lot of mistakes. So I don't think he's 100% wrong on on that comment either. So by the way, Ryan Walter,
I mean, to me, it was a bigger issue than losing the game is to see how bad Emery looked in that game. Do you agree with that statement?
Oh yeah, 1,000%. But I'm still saying though, it's we the offense shut down. Then even though they tried to let Martinez carry the team, from that point on. By the way, just going back, Ryan Walters is already about to accept a job at the University of Washington, the ex-Boilermakers coach. So he gone. So.
He gone. We went out for a second. Can you hear me, Forrest?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, because my whole signal is I don't know what's happening to my camera situation over here, but I'm just totally frozen. But we'll go through a little bit more your comments, and then since my camera is messing up, we're gonna bounce off for a second. Let's see who we got here. Michael, Mario hired Kevin Steele his first year here, and that didn't work out. 100%. I'm not saying it's going to work out with a big defensive coordinator, but I would rather go with somebody that has a name or that's somebody that's played with the big boys than for us to be their first big job. That's all I'm saying. I think we've done that enough. The only one that really worked out was Rhett Lashley. Like, he was phenomenal, and that's why he went back to SMU and got the head coaching job. Like, to me, that's the only one that really worked out, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, but by the way, I'm just looking to see if there's any rumors. Just happened with GUIDRY. The only thing I can find so far is that they've reached out to Georgia Tech's defensive coordinator Tyler Santucci, but he is also in talks with Texas A&M for a similar role. So. If you can't.
Well, if it's Miami versus Texas A&M, I think Miami gets it unless he has family members in Texas, if that's who they really want. But I honestly feel, and maybe I have on the orange and green glasses, but I feel like Miami is such a coveted job still, even though we haven't been our best in 20 years. We weren't. I mean, look, in result, we are 10-3. Let's be honest. We are 10-3 this season. But we could have been a lot better, but I still think Miami holds weight, and it's a coveted job that a person is like, if I kind of like a quarterback, if I kick butt at Miami, I can go anywhere I want to go.
Yeah. Going back to the beginning of this podcast, by the way, when you just threw that out there and you said, I don't understand how we're ranked this high and blah, blah, blah. I'm just reading through some articles and stuff now. Our defense was ranked 68th nationally in scoring by the end.
Okay, 68th. Okay.
But once ACC play began, we from 25.3 a game, it ballooned up to 30.8 points per game. So we were giving up 30 points a game in ACC play. And, it doesn't matter what conference you're in. You start doing that once you enter conference play, then you know what happens. The rest. The end of the story this year.
Blaze 352, who's always been here from day one. I'm really surprised Mario pulled the trigger. I got to be honest with you. I'm surprised he did it so fast, too, because we know Mario is on this slow train. You know what I mean, Forrest?
Yeah, but I think he's –
Forrest?
Yeah, your mouth's moving, so I don't want to talk. But are you not talking?
Oh, no. My screen is frozen, so okay. Just pick up when I'm done. Yeah, I'm delayed.
I'm sorry. I say it's talking. Yeah, I'm not surprised he pulled. I know that he the slow train, as we're talking about Cristobal, but the frustration was there. You could see it to the season. Like you can't hide it the whole time when you're on the sideline. Once in a while, if the camera's on, you can. But I think he was frustrated even in the Iowa State game when we're not even really. I mean, let's be honest. There's a lot of players missing from both sides of both teams, so it wasn't like I didn't feel terrible when we lost. But still, you were like, for your point. I've watched Iowa State all year. Again, very slow starting team, as you said. So,
and they scored 21 points. Look, if you're just tuning in, hit that subscribe button. I know my camera is delayed, but you can still hear me. That's all that matters. Forrest Shaw, that's Forrest Shaw, my partner on the show. Rudy's out today, but we had to jump on because GUIDRY got fired, and we wanted to talk about it. We're going through your comments right now. This Lakers all day dope. This is the nonsense I'm talking about. We need Ed Reed. Ed Reed, a person that's never been a DC, you're just going to make him DC. That is ridiculous because he was a good player. You're going to make that's the kind of stuff. This is the type of person, and I love you Lakers all day for listening to the podcast. And I don't know if you trolling me a little bit, but I will say this. This is the kind of mentality that helps us lose. Just because they were ex-players, they should coach. That's absolutely false. Absolutely false. I don't agree with that at all. What I mean, do you agree with that? I mean, is there any sense to Ed Reed being a DC?
No, I don't. Not you work your way up. I don't know. Well, Ed Reed is one of my favorite players of all time. Miami pros. What I love him to death, but I don't know if he like. Could he give the speeches like someone talked about earlier? Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. He's going to fire the team up. And does he know how to play in the secondary, which was one of our weaknesses, probably better than anyone. That video of him with Bill Belichick, and I think it's Chris Collinsworth and someone sitting at a table, and they're dissecting that one play in the NFL where he picks off Peyton Manning. Clearly he knows everything about what there's to play, but being a coach is different, man, especially in this NIL world. It's a whole different world now and stuff. And so I'm not sure, but I'd like to have him on the team as the defensive coordinator. No, but I'd love to have him like sitting on the sideline there. Maybe the secondary coach, you know?
Well, I no, he's never coached the secondary. No, Forrest. No.
It got me excited thinking about it for a second.
No, you know what I want him to be like Michael Irvin. Just be on the sideline, man. Just to see Ed Reed on the sideline pumping up the kids. That's dope.
But Michael Irvin annoyed me by the end of the season. I got to be honest. Like it was like,
did he?
Yeah, like I love Michael Irvin too, but it was like, it's like, come on, dude. Like this isn't about you. Because then the cameras would come in on him.
I loved it, man. You know what? Hey, at least he's out there, man. And trust me. Even though the recruits today won't really know who he is and won't know how great he is, once they learn about him, they'll be like, yo, that's cool. That's a cool moment. But you ever think Michael Irvin was on the sideline so much? You ever think the players just blew him off sometimes?
Yes, because remember,
I saw that too. I saw.
Wait, who was it? Was it Cam Ward who was like, I don't really know what he did. Like one of the players.
Yeah, I think so. But look, most of these young guys don't know what these dudes did, right? Because it was 20. They weren't even born. But at least it's cool, man. It's cool that you got all these legends in the game. All right.
Yeah, but wait. Before we pass on to that, Michael Irvin, please, if I know you watch this podcast religiously, please call up Andre Johnson and get him on the sidelines for next year because they'll know who Andre Johnson is. How about that? Did we lose Michael? Am I by myself? Okay. You there? All right. Are we still broadcasting? Oh, yeah, we're still out there. All right, I'll wait to see if Michael comes back on. If he doesn't, we'll pop off, come back on. I wanted to get into the Pop-Tarts Bowl, how fun it was. But I don't know if I can't even see the comments on there either.